Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fabs in the house. And today I've got the CRKT Maven here with me for a review, and as usual we're gonna analyze the look, the sound and the feel of this guy. But first of all, let's just check some dimensions going on over here. This is an overall 7.7 inch long, around that, knife with a 4.5 inch long handle and a 3.7 inch long blade. It's a pretty cool liner lock. It's designed by Rogers, and let's see how this compares up against the Montosa right over here, and up against the Cuatro, which means 4 in Spanish, also from CRKT, and same designer like this guy over here. This is the Inara right over there. Also G10 frame lock, very small compared to that. And what else can we get? Let's get some classic in Ontario rat number 2 right over there, and of course Ontario rat number 1 right over here, and it's right in the middle between these two pretty popular guys. This is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, as you can see, much bigger than that, and this is the Spyderco Para 3. As you can see, the handle is quite comparable, but the handle to blade ratio, it's a little bit better than that. And if we go up in price, we're gonna get to the Shirogorov Neon Zero right there, and his bigger brother, this is the Shirogorov F95R Slim. Again, in between these two guys, what else we have? This guy over here, 520, designed by Philippe Georget, produced by Custom Knife Factory. And what else do we got? Look at this. Pretty cool looking large Sebenza 21 Night Sky by Chris Reeve Knives. And let's do also some big boys over here. This is the Reiki Knives Tule. And what else do we have? Let's do some fanciness. Would you look at this? This is a Holt Bladeworks Spectre V2 Prestige, and also let's do some couple small guys. This is the CVV McKenna with the black Damascus blade and copper handles, and another really cute and small one. These two, by the way, are from my wife's collection. This is the James Brand County slip joint, of course. So guys, this is the CRKT Maven, and it's an interesting one. It's very interesting. There's some good things, some less good things about this one, but overall it's a very nice one, because the price is going to be around $50. This guy is made in China. It's a liner lock, as you can see. There's a couple steel liners, and there's a couple of G10 scales which have been milled, like scalloped in a very interesting way. There's some chamfering going on all around right over here, and there's a main line cutting, like intersecting these two screw handles, and just tangent to the pivot screw right over here, and same thing goes for the back. It's an interesting one. There's some internal skeletonization, I would say. There's some holes, like Grovier kind of look like, you see, to reduce a little bit the weight. There's, of course, this is a flipper, and you've got this pretty pointy flipper tab sticking out, which you can, if you do like a push button, something like this, it's gonna be hard to deploy, almost impossible. You have to push it like very strongly, or you're just gonna do like a light switch, and that's gonna deploy the blade pretty consistently, I have to say. There's no internal chamfering going on, just on the outside. There's no jimping going on whatsoever in any point on this knife. You've got two standoffs and just one pin. They look like 3 standoffs, but this is mainly like just a pillar, let's say. These are actually standoffs with screws going through that are just hidden behind the scale. There's no lanyard hole, surprisingly, in this guy, and This is a liner lock, so they're still up against steel, so there's no need for any lock face insert. There's not gonna be any lock stick, and it's pretty good to go. This scale over here is acting as a lock bar stabilizer in order for you to avoid to overextend the lock bar. You've got basically these 3 screws over here, and then you got another 2 which are right over here in correspondence of these 2 standoffs in order for you to disassemble this guy, which is going to be pretty straightforward. I mean, nothing too difficult to do. You can also check out my disassembly video if you're interested in maintenance of this guy. Also, the screws are pretty much not protruding from the scale, so very, very flush, even if they are right in the intersection of this crest right over here, so they're gonna expose a little bit some not sharp corners, but a little bit of height, you see, right into this point over here. But all you're gonna need is gonna be like a T6 and a T8 for this pivot over here, which is captive, I believe, and if I remember correctly. And it's a very good thing, so super straightforward disassembly. Deep carry pocket clip, stainless steel with some nice springy tension. And what I really appreciate about this guy is this. Look at that. Finally, some screws that are inset and flush with the pocket clip, so they're not gonna snag into any fabric of your pocket. So very cool. Deep carry, it's gonna stick out just a little bit like that. Really nice. And what I also appreciate from this guy, as opposed to this guy, that this guy is not reversible. You cannot, this is just only tip-up carry and only on that side, but in this case they did same thing, but you see they create some area here, so yeah, it's good for the reversibility of the clip, but it's kind of ugly for the look. In this case they just kept it clean and decided just not to adopt any reversibility for the clip, so really interesting. The blade is also interesting. The stock thickness is pretty thin, so this is going to be a very nice slicer. It has an overall length of 3.7 inches. It is a drop point hollow grind 8CR13 MOV bead blasted blade. It has a nice feel to it. It doesn't feel too cheap, and also the liners have the same finish as of the blade, and you can see this is a pretty nice drop point with a nice swedge going on right up to the tip. You have about 30% belly and then flat edge up to this finger choil. It's also sharp, serving as a sharpening choil, of course, and it reveals how thin behind the edge this guy is. And actually this is pretty decent, I have to say. It's not like the thinnest of them all, but it's absolutely good to go. Also nice plunge grind, which is recessed a little bit to expose this thin edge right over here and to facilitate you into the sharpening process, of course. Really good chamfering going on in the finger choil going on over here. The flipper tab is a little bit on the pointy side, but the blade is actually very interesting. There is not like 100% edge symmetry because it's thinner here and just widens up there, but this is something that you can fix along the way. I mean, of course you're gonna notice CRKT logo, the bearings logo, because this guy is running on bearings. You're gonna notice some oil right there, and Maven Richard Rogers design right over here, and this, I guess it's the code number for the serial number for this particular model and blade over here. So overall, some billboarding going on. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. They are all like this, so nothing you can do against this guy. Let's just check out the sound when you open this one. It's nice. I mean, it's nothing incredible. It's very low in pitch and in volume. It's not obnoxious, I have to say, but it's not really like outstanding in any ways. When you close it like this, you hear a very nice tinkle, much better than the opening sound. It's just, it's very interesting. It's higher pitched, it's not obtrusive, it's much more pleasant when you close it than when you open it. So this is just my feelings about this sound right over here. Also, the weight of this guy is going to be 4.5 ounces because of the construction. I mean, stainless steel liners, G10, lots of hardware, and yeah, it's not a light knife. It feels good in the hand. If you squeeze the handle, you're not going to feel any particular hotspot, so it's well designed, I have to say. Sharp edges, maybe just a little bit from this clip ramp over here, but nothing too crazy. You can do easily like a reverse grip because there's going to be a little bit of handle sticking out like that, so it's going to be pretty good to go. Only one thing is that these liners are quite thick, but as you can see, there's going to be some flex to it, you see? You can bend quite easily the structure, so it doesn't really feel like absolutely solid, like rock solid in the hand. Maybe like a backspacer would have helped, but in this case it's just the nature of the knife. It's nothing like too crazy, but I think for the price it's honestly pretty good. Texture is on the smooth side. There's a little bit of texturing in this G10 scale. It's not like extremely slippery, but it's smooth. I like it, and this is a nice finish, to be honest. There is absolutely no blade play. The blade is pretty much centered, and the fit and finish overall is pretty good, I have to say, especially for the price point. I mean, the liners are pretty much lined up nicely with the scales. I don't really feel any burr, any lip. I just see just some little imperfections over here, but hey, what do you want? I mean, this is a $50 knife, something like that, so it's within reasonable range. The clip has also a nice feeling, has the right amount of tension, I have to say. This clip ramp is a little bit abrupt like that. I would have preferred a little bit more gentle, but it's still functional. And being dip carry, it's gonna just stick out like this much from your pocket. You're still gonna have this logo, like advertising, free advertising for them. It's very nice that these screws are flush with the clip, so it's not gonna snag into the fabric of your pockets. So really cool. Deployment speed is gonna work mainly if you do like not a push button like that, but just a light switch like so. Not really much finger sore because there's some very mellow jimping associated to the flipper tab and pretty rounded off, so it's gonna be nice and pretty smooth because this guy, of course, is running on bearings, so the action is going to be actually smooth, not super fast. You see, it drops like there's some free fall as soon as you disengage the lock bar, but then you need to wiggle it. It's not gonna be drop shut in any ways if you just keep it in the vertical position. The blade is nicely recessed on the inside. You cannot touch the clip, so very safe. There is a little bit of rattling, but it's just, I don't know which part, probably the stop pin, but there is some rattling when shaken. It's interesting, like there's no jimping over here in the lock bar release, let's say, but it's okay. It's quite easy to disengage because there's some relief, some cut out over here, but I would have preferred some more space, like for example, something like this. As you can see, Sebenza has a nice cutout here, and it's gonna be super easy to disengage the lock bar. In this case, you have just that little chunk in order for you to grab, to have some grip and to close the handle. Nothing too crazy, but they could have done a little bit better job right over there. There's no detent ball ramp, of course, just a very, very tiny hard step, nothing too crazy. And overall, the action is interesting. It's not the best action that is out there, but for $50, I think you can't really go wrong. I mean, the design is pretty good. The sound is okay. It's decent. The grip is very good. I mean, the feeling, there's no hot spots. The clip is nicely done. There's a little bit of issue, like here, it's a little bit too thin and a little bit pointy if you'd want to do a push button. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent knife for the money. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.